What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you can call me Vinny, and today we are going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Yamcha, Earth's foremost fighter. The figure was revealed quite some time ago, and it was taking forever for Bandai to commercialize it. What we thought was for updating the body to 3.0 was instead just using the 2.0 once again, with no clear answer as to why it took so long to release in the first place. It's really weird as to why this figure took so long. It had no reason to take that long unless you wanted it to release alongside the androids. This version of Yamcha would also be a premium Bandai webshop exclusive, clocking in at an MSRP of $65. Not bad all things considered, but still a bit steep for the figure. It's almost $70. And technically speaking, if you count shipping into the equation, which is $10, the figure costs $75, and that's without tax. Wow. Yeah. And when the figure was released, a lot of folks noticed nothing had really been improved on from the first Yamcha release. Wonderful. So with all that in mind, will this figure be worth adding into your collection at all? Pretty sure that's why you clicked on the video. Let's not waste any more time and see if this figure is worthy of a spot on your Dragon Ball Z shelf. So Yamcha here is based how he looked in the Android and Cell sagas, this time having shorter hair, so no need to worry about any ponytail hair pieces breaking, thank God. How does Yamcha look? Pretty good, but one issue I do have, I'll get to it when I get to it. Yamcha's colors are nice and vibrant, the symbols on his clothes are cleanly applied, his hair sculpt is pretty good, and his facial details like the scarring looks great. I like how his face sculpt looks. His clothes are actually new from the previous version, though the arms and legs are reused from Goku. There's shading on the front of the legs, which is awesome, that looks great. But wouldn't it be great if the shading was also on the back? Yep, once again, like a Movie Monster series vinyl, there's no paint detail on the back like shading, which sucks, big time. A shame too, because it looks great on the front of the legs, but on the back it's just a whole bunch of nothing. His muscle sculpt is great, nice definition, he looks great, his arms again have nice muscle definition. The tie is a dark blue and the shoes are also a darker blue, which looks nice. Definitely a visual upgrade from the previous figure. But man, I can't stand that there's no paintwork on the back. I don't get that. So overall, Yamcha looks pretty good and absolutely looks better than his previous counterpart, but with some problems, mainly in the paint department. He's obviously not sloppy, but definitely could have used that shading all over the figure rather than just having it on the front of his legs. Yeah, that is not cool, Bandai. I don't know why you do that. So yeah, the figure looks great, but not perfect.
Yamcha's articulation is not that impressive. Whatever improvements you were hoping from 2.0 to 3.0 was not here, and overall his articulation is the same as Goku's. It desperately needs updates in certain parts. And there's one part of the articulation that they did not fix at all from the previous release. So let's go over what he's got. Head is on a ball hinge, and the neck is on a ball joint, so he can look pretty much all the way up. Can look kind of all the way down. Left and right, can lean. Arms are on ball joints, can wiggle around, has butterfly joint movement. Shoulders are, these shoulder close pads are on ball joints. Shoulders can only hinge upward just about this far, less than 90 degrees. Biceps can swivel, double hinged elbows, ball hinged wrists. There's a ball joint here and here, so he can crunch forward, just about this far forward and backward, just about this far backward. This little tie here is on a swivel. Legs can kick forward just about this far and this far back. Splits, he can just about do the splits, just about. Thighs can swivel. Double hinged knees, they can go just about this far. Toes are on a hinge. Now, the original Yamcha was pretty infamous for having piss poor ankle articulation. This Yamcha is not much better because they did not do anything to fix it. Furthest stance with the ankles is about this far. That's pathetic. They did not bother to fix his ankle articulation, despite that being the biggest complaint on the original figure. Wow. So Yamcha's articulation is not great. Sure, you could still pose him, but they should have updated. They had this prototype for so long and they didn't update it to 3.0 at all, even though that was already happening. I don't know. This Yamcha just feels kind of outdated. It feels really outdated, and the ankles do not make that any better. So yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about it, to be honest.
Yamcha has accessories, but it's not a lot, and once again, there are no hand parts for the Spirit Ball or even an effect part for it. Or the Wolf Fang Fist. Nothing. Just nothing. Yamcha is lacking here, and the DLC accessories for Android 20 don't help at all. For the faces, he has a neutral face. Next, an angry teeth-gritted face. And a screaming yelling face. For hands, he has 2 fist hands, 2 martial arts fighting stance hands, 2 Kamehameha hands, and finally 2 open blast effect hands. For DLC accessories for Android 20 is a left hand grabbing Yamcha's face and an arm piece going right through Yamcha. It's tricky to put together, like really tricky, so good luck trying to get it to work. It falls apart a lot. It took me a while to get it together without the pieces falling off. Yamcha's accessories we don't get enough for. I'm sorry, but it feels like so much more could have been added. Wasted opportunities with this release, for sure. It feels like we could have gotten so much more here, but no, of course not. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Yamcha is a standard size Figuarts, not too big, not too small. Scales well with the other characters, no problem. If you need him on display, you shouldn't have any issue. Yamcha is fine, but it's a nothing burger. There's nothing much to him. He's no better than the first Yamcha release, and that blows. So many opportunities to get it right, but it ended up being wasted. Not happy about that at all with this figure. This is such a nothing figure. I want to say more good than bad, but what can I say? There's nothing to say. And whatever I had to say was negative. No improvements in articulation, accessories are a low blow, sculpted paint are good, I'll give the figure that much, but again, no shading on the back of the figure. Really? You're so lazy you can't paint the back of it? Shame on you, Bandai. Shame. This figure gets a 5 out of 10. A mediocre mess this figure is. Don't pick it up unless you find it for cheap. Don't pick this up for $85. Definitely don't pick this up for $100. That's ridiculous and not worth it at all. Get it to complete the Android Cell Saga team, but other than that, stay away from this figure otherwise. It ain't worth the aftermarket prices.